This final video in my 5-part series talks about course made good. See the links in the description if you haven't seen the others yet. Our course made good is a very broad area. It's more than just steering a boat. It's about considering all the variables to get from A to B as efficiently as possible. I'll show you some examples which should help you to understand the kind of things that can affect our progress on the water. We might also call this our strategy. Most of the examples do not have a right or wrong answer. The approach which is best will depend entirely on the circumstances and the variables at the time. When you first learn to sail, you probably most associate course made good with sailing upwind, having to zigzag upwind in a series of close hauls and tacks called beating. The angle of our boat to the wind is important here. If we sail at too broad an angle, we will sail a much greater distance than we need to. Conversely, if we sail too closely to the wind, we will be losing a lot of power from the sail, which will significantly reduce our forwards boat speed. The optimum angle varies depending on the boat and the sea state. For example, catamarans will generally sail a broader angle to the wind than a dinghy. If the water is really choppy, it can pay to sail at a slightly broader angle to help the boat to punch through the waves. Moving on, here are a few more things that might make our course good or not. Sailing in a straight line is the shortest way to get from one place to another, when we can. Here, the trees on the shore will cause turbulence and possibly a wind shadow, so it may pay to sail slightly further in cleaner wind. Sailing upwind here, we might want to take the one tack approach, especially if we have a boat that loses a lot of speed when tacking, like a high-performance dinghy or a catamaran. Alternatively, we might want to go to the right-hand side to get into the flatter water, sheltered behind the spit. We might then want to go right again to avoid the disturbed wind behind the trees. If we're sailing on a river, a tidal estuary or the sea, the water will probably be moving. Again, we have the option of sailing a straight line course, or in this case, we could sail a bit further to gain some benefit from the flow of the tide. It might be beneficial to sail further to get out of a current that is flowing against you. Sailing downwind, fast boats and catamarans would normally sail 2 broad reaches instead of a run. This is because they will go significantly faster, which outweighs the extra distance travelled. Just like beating upwind though, when sailing downwind there's an optimum balance between boat speed and distance sailed. The wind is always changing. Here, there's more wind on the right hand side of the beat, so going that way could give us better boat speed. Or, if it's really windy, you might want to look for the more sheltered areas to make it more manageable. Gusts often come across the water. Here you can see that the wind is really quite unsteady. The darker areas are gusts with stronger winds, and the lighter patches show the lulls where the wind is lighter. You can see gusts here, and there's a lull here. At water level in a boat, they can be a bit harder to spot. Here you can see a strong gust just approaching this pink buoy. Look how much darker the water is. We might steer a course to stay in a gust for longer, maximising benefit of the increased wind. Or heading up in a gust might help to get the boat onto the plane and significantly increase our boat speed. The wind often shifts around whilst we're sailing, and we can use that to our advantage. To start with, the wind is coming straight down the water, and the boats make the same amount of progress whichever tack they are sailing on. When the wind shifts, so does the no-go zone and the potential angles that we can continue to sail in. If the shift takes us closer to the previous wind direction, this is a lift. If a boat gets pushed further away from the original wind direction, this is a header. If two boats experience the same wind shift whilst on opposite tacks, one of the boats will experience it as a lift and the other boat as a header. The green and red lines show the lifted and headed courses respectively. Now the wind is shifting back in the other direction. We can choose whether to steer onto the new close haul on the same tack or to tack onto the other close haul. To make the best progress upwind, we want to sail on the lifts as much as possible by tacking if we get headed while sailing along. The flashing green line shows the best upwind course that could have been sailed in this example by sailing on the lift each time. The flashing red line shows progress from sailing on both of the headers. You can see that this course has made far less progress towards the wind, even though the distance sailed through the water is the same. To summarise, there are many things that can help or hinder our progress from one place to another. If you're just learning to sail, you'll need to focus on the basics like keeping the boat upright to start with. As your sailing improves, you'll be able to look around more to take these extra variables into consideration, helping you to become a more efficient sailor. Here are a few more videos you might like. Please comment, like and subscribe to help support the channel.